Alright guys, let's go back. So you guys know how to analyze what to look at, right? Now, for the units, I need to clarify that. Over here it say hundreds of thousands, right? So when you write, this cannot be 100, but it must be 100,000, right? Yeah, the same goes for this as well. It's not 200 cars, it's 200 of thousands, right? 200,000. That is 300,000, 400,000, right? So be very careful. That's why we need to look at the units, because this is why. So pay attention to the units, especially when it's written like this. To make sure you don't write um, the number of cars produced or created in China in 2022 is...
Teacher, you haven't shown your screen.
I'm still talking in the same one, but yes. Thank you. Right, so just make sure that when you see the units over there, right, don't say 200 cars, 300 cars, but it's 200,000, 300,000, right? Moving on to the main part, we're going to learn how to describe using the train language, right? First of all, we need to learn how to write the introduction. So, for the introduction, there are two ways to do this. The first way, you will paraphrase the question, right? The second way, you will use this information to write the introduction. Yeah? For example, 凯源, Zheng Kaiyan.
Yes.
Okay, can you please read the first sentence?
Uh, the graph gives information about the number of books read at Burnaby Public Library over 4-year period from 2011 and 2014.
Oh, wait, hold on, sorry. Alright, here we go. So, over there, right, we used the information from previously, from over there, right? We talk about what was being measured. It is the number of books read by people, right? And then what are the years? We included the year, right? Included the year from 2011 to 2014, right? And then we also included the time period, yeah, over 4-year period, right? Yeah. We don't include a unit here because it's nothing special. This is 2,000 volts, 4,000 volts, 6,000 volts, right? So we don't mention it. However, you think that unit is special, we can say this. Give a mention about it goes right up, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you think that the unit is special, like the one before, like this one, for example, right? Yeah, because this is hundreds of thousands. So you can say measured in hundreds of thousand cars. Or hundred of thousand books, for example, right? If the unit is special, you can say that, right? Now this is a full introduction. We include the thing that was being measured, which is the number of books, right? And then we included the categories, which is men and women, right? We included the year from 11 to 14. We included the time period, right, 4 year, and then we included the units if it's special only, right? So this is how you're gonna write uh, an introduction. Yeah. Now I want you guys to do the same using class cook. If you guys, where is it? Okay, this one. I'm gonna show my screen now. Alright guys, so I want you guys to go to page 4, right? Page 4. And then you will write me one sentence to introduce this graph. Yeah? And you can add the name of the graph too, like this for example. I'm gonna copy and paste the sample answer so that you guys can use it to write your introduction, right? Okay, so first of all, include the name of the charts. This is a line chart, right? And secondly, don't say shows. Don't use the word show. Use the word gives information about, gives data about, illustrates, or demonstrates, right? I will give you guys 5 minutes to write the introduction using ClassKit, alright? So do you guys know how to do it? You just need to click this add text box, right? And then start writing. Okay, if you know what to do, please raise your hands. Hello guys, if you know what to do, raise your hands. Thank you. Only 2 people knows what to do. Go to ClassKit, okay? I'm gonna send the link one more time. Okay, T, don't say tell us, right? You have to say gives information about, gives data about, or straight. I'm gonna put the words in Google Meet. Alright guys, don't forget to paraphrase, right? For example, let's say average carbon dioxide emissions per person, right? So you can say on average, right? So the the graph illustrates the amount of carbon dioxide emissions that a person produced or released, right, on average. Yuan? Are you here? Yuan? Khả Yuan? Trường Khả Yuan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you don't need the word below, right? And um, you don't need to mention the unit either. It's not special. But if you want to, you can say measure in metric tons.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright guys, so when you finish the introduction, right, I'm not gonna be able to see everyone in a very short time, so I'm going to, um, here we go. So I'm gonna move on to the overview, right? So how do you write the overview, guys? Alright, for the overview, you will mention several things, right? First of all, you need to include the signal word. Okay, so from now on, choose one and use it, right? We can see that this is a signal word, so always include this before you start writing the overview. Yes? So pay attention to the ones with the comma. This is a comma. right? Comma. For example, overall, comma, right? But we can see that we don't have a comma because after it, it has to be a full sentence without a comma, right? Generally, we also need a comma. Alright, now we're gonna write the overview, right? So there we go. Overall, we included a single word overall, right? And we say there was a strong upward trend, yeah, right? So the first thing that we do is that we actually look at the first number and the last number of each category, right? To see if the numbers go up or go down, yeah? As you can see, they both go up, right? From 4,000 to around 8,000 or 7,000, right? From 3,000 to around 14,000, right? So they both go up. Therefore, we can say there was a strong upward trend. If it goes down, you can say there was a strong downward trend, right? Strong or weak. We don't really say weak. We say strong upward trend, that's all. We say strong downward or upward trend, right? And then we add a second sentence. And this sentence talks about the special stuff. Now, for different people, the second sentence will change. But the easiest way is to look at the most prominent one, the most outstanding one, and include it, right? For example, you can see that the big picture here is that the number of books read by women was always higher until 2013, right? And then men overtook. Yeah? So this is how you're going to write an overview. Step 1, look at the starting numbers of each category and the last number. Step 2, ask yourself the following questions. Is there an upward or a downward trend? Right? By using step 1. And then look at which groups are always higher, right? For C, you don't really have to pay attention to it because it requires more brain power. So just there, stick with these two. Yeah. Maybe I will add until when too. Yeah. So there are two steps. The first step is to look at the first and the last number to see if there's an upward or a downward trend. The second step is to see which category, which group was always higher. Yeah, and then mention it in the overview because the overview is a big picture of your of the graph, of the diagram, right? The big picture. So we don't include specific numbers, right? We don't include specific numbers. All right, so I'm gonna copy this to your class kit, and then you will write me an overview in 3 minutes. Yeah. And one more thing I need to mention is that the units in the classic assignments, right? It is special because it's not 0, 2, 4, 6. It is 0, 2 metric tons, 4 metric tons, 6 metric tons, right? So you need to mention it in your writing. And the word measured, it must be past tense because it's actually passive, right? It's a passive voice. Um, so for this one, right? If you look at the first number and the last number of each country, you will see that for Portugal, there is a strong upward trend, right? For Italy, there is also a strong upward trend, right? However, for the United Kingdom or Sweden, you can see that they go down, right? So you can say that specifically, yeah? You can say that while da 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 da, and then so basically use the word while to say two things, right? While the amount of carbon emission released per person or by a person released per person in Portugal and Italy witnessed an upward trend, right? And say the opposite pattern can be seen in those of the other two countries. So just name them, right? I'm gonna write it down over here. Yes, TP, do you have a question? Alright, so of course the one that I just sent to you used a lot of advanced language, right? But if you don't want to repeat yourself, you don't want while AV, there was a strong upward trend in the UK, sorry, what is it? The Italy and Portugal, right? While there was an upward trend in Italy and Portugal, there was a downward trend in United Kingdom and Sweden. So for your level, it's fine writing like that, right? It's fine. But if you want to, upgrade your language, you can say the opposite pattern was seen, right, in the United Kingdom and Sweden. Or you can also say the opposite was true, Yeah, so that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again, right? And remember, if you use while or whereas, you need to use them in the same sentence, like this. So the word, it is readily apparent. It's literally the same as it can be seen that, right? There's no difference. It's just another way to write it, right? So for you guys, just stick with generally or it can be seen that, right? And if you want to use while or whereas, do as I put on the screen. Make sure that while something happens, the other thing happens, right? Or something happens, whereas something else happens. Yeah? Or you can also use even though or though, despite, in spite of, to make your sentence a complex sentence, right? All right. Moving on to describing changes. Now you guys don't have to write this down because I'm gonna send you guys some material at the end of the lesson, so don't worry. But instead of keep saying increase, you can say rise, right? You can say go up, climb, grow. Same for decline, right? However, for the word rocket, I would say you should not use the word rocket because rocket means to change very quickly, to increase very quickly in a very short time, right? Like a rocket. So you should not use this word unless it increases very quickly in a very short time, which is rare, right? And the same goes for plunge or plummet as well. They also mean to decrease very quickly, very suddenly, in a very short time. Yeah? Okay, so I'm not gonna go through this too much because you guys would have to study how to use these words by yourself. And then you will see that, let's look at this one. Alright, so the first structure that you can use is this, right? The number of books read by men or the amount of carbon emission, right? Increase steadily from 2, right? The second structure, you can say experienced something. Okay, so if you look over here, increase is a verb, right? But we can also use it as a noun after an adjective, right? So you can say increase steadily or there was a, sorry, or something experienced a steady increase, right? So increase here can use as a noun or a verb. And you will use the verbs such as experienced, saw, or showed, observed to replace the word experience, right? And then you add number. The number of books read by men is experienced a steady increase from 2000 to 3000 in 2012, for example, right? So, and finally, you can also use the structure there was, a, or un. There was a steady increase, right, in the number of books, in the amount of carbon emission of something, yeah? Alright, that's it. So I want you guys to go home and try to use these structures, right, to write about the changes, right? That's it. So for now, you can use from or to, right? They change from or to, sorry, they change from 2000 to 3000, right? They increase steadily, they increase significantly, they increase considerably from 2000 to 3000. Now, if you say buy, right, it means you use the A, you use B. For example, this is B, right? You use B, the B, that is A. So you use B minus A, then you will get buy, right? Okay, let me ask someone to see if they understand. And we will use this chart, right? Now, if I say the number of one men increased from 3,000 to to around 10,000 in 2013, right? Or sorry, in 1 to 3 years, the first 3 years, right? The number of books read by men increased from 3,000 to 10,000 over the first 3 years, yeah? Or say the number of books read by men increased by 7,000 over the first 3 years. Get it? So by, I use this minus this, and I will have the number 7,000. Yeah? That's it. Alright, so your homework is gonna be the click, right? So try to complete this as you have free time, right? And then I will mark your work when I have time. Yeah? Okay, so anyone with any questions? Just remember for the overview. So for the question, you will need to include the 5 things that I said earlier, right? These 5 things, yeah, in your introduction. For the overview, it's going to be a little bit, you need to say whether there's an upward or a downward by looking at the first and the last numbers of each group, right? And try to use the structures There are groups that increase, there are groups that decrease, and then there are groups that stay the same, right? And when you write, use three structures, these ones, in your body paragraph, right? To say whether they increase or decrease. But make sure that you include specific data for each sentence when you write, right? And here's a tip. You should always start with, for your body paragraph, right? Always start from the beginning and then go to the other ones, right? For choose the highest one in the beginning, right? For example, we can start with woman over here, right? Start with this and then go to the other years. So make sure that you don't list every year, but you have to show the key figures. And this will have to go with practice. You have to practice a lot, right? Yeah, but for now you can try to get used to the three structures that I just introduced. That's all. Alright guys, so any questions before we finish, before I close the classroom? I will send you guys the material, so don't worry, right? No? Alright. If you don't have any question, I will check attendance.
I have a question.
Sure.
Like the material you sent for us about the PowerPoint is should be in the Google PowerPoint or the Microsoft one,
Microsoft one.
or because I cannot open the Microsoft, I don't have the permit to go there.
Okay, I'll send you one on Google as well.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Alright, let me check attendance quickly. If you're here, say yes on Google Meet, alright? Đặng Thanh Phương.
Yes.
Okay. Lê Hồng Hạnh Nguyên.
Yes.
Lê Mai Khánh Chi.
Yes.
Lê Vũ Đức Mạnh.
Yes.
Okay. Lê Xuân Hùng. Lê Xuân Hùng. Lưu Lê Bảo Ngân.
Yes.
Mai Thế Nam. Mai Thêm.